What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So the stock market's doing great today with about 20 minutes left in the session. The S&P 500's up 0.9%. The Dow Jones is up 0.5%. The Nasdaq 100's up 1.6%. And the Russell 2000 is also up about 1.3%. And today, like always, we're going to be talking more about the markets, breaking down some technicals, going over a bunch of stocks to buy now. And I also want to share with you guys what I'm doing in the market, what stocks I own right now, and in general where my head is at as a trader and as an investor. So if you guys find value, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure to get yourself into that Strive Smart Discord chat, get into the Facebook group, grab yourself 4 stocks from WeBull and $30 from M1 Finance. All of those are free and linked right down below in the description box. So let's get into it. And again, like I said, we have about 20 minutes left in the session, and the markets all across the board, all 4 indexes that we track at least here on the channel, they're all doing great. I mean, take a look here at the S&P 500. If you guys remember, back on Friday on the 15th of January, we actually saw a pretty big pullback. We saw a pullback from about $3,800 all the way to about $3,750. And what we did see after that pull down was we started to find support at that 180 SMA on this hourly chart, and we tried breaking out of 3780 on this hourly chart, which was, well, not anymore, but it was a big resistance, and we tried breaking out of that on Friday, but we failed, and we actually closed on a downswing, which for me, back on Friday, not anymore, we'll talk about that in a second, but back on Friday when I saw this, I was a bit nervous because we failed again at 3780, which if I zoom in a bit here, you guys can see 3780 was a support back on the 8th of January, back on the 12th of January, and actually it was a resistance back on the 6th of January. So in my opinion, back on Friday, and now we finally broke out of this 3780 resistance, but back on Friday when I was looking at this, I was thinking to myself, for this uptrend to continue, the S&P 500 needs to break 3780, and the fact that we failed there on Friday and we closed on a downswing, that wasn't so great. But fast forward to today, I'm a happy guy. Look at this smile, guys. I'm freaking happy right now because we gapped out of there. We actually gapped out of 3780. We broke that resistance, and we actually broke this 50 SMA on this 10-day chart. And going back on that hourly chart, you can see it even better. We also broke that 50 SMA here on this time frame, and the uptrend is continuing. This is exactly what we wanted to see for a potential push now to all-time highs. And at this point in time, the S&P 500 is about 25 points away from those all-time highs. So needless to say, guys, this is very bullish price action. The fact that we gapped up today, we broke above 3780, and it's looking like we're going to close. I mean, we're about to close in 13 minutes on a pretty strong note. The bulls are closing in charge. So this is great. Very, very solid overall. And for tomorrow, and honestly for the rest of this week, I'm not sure when we'll get there, if we'll get there, but a level I'm looking at is 3820 to about 3825, which you guys can see here is that all-time high from a couple of trading days ago. So if this upwards momentum continues, who knows? We could be at all-time highs on the S&P 500, and we could be breaking out and going even higher. I mean, that is very possible here. And when it comes to the Nasdaq 100, you guys can see very similar price action. Here on the 5-day, 5-minute, we pulled down on Friday and the previous day. And even before that, I mean, we saw a bit of a sell-off here in the Nasdaq 100 and the markets in general. And on the hourly chart, you guys can see we held the 180 SMA at about 12,800, which was a resistance a couple trading days ago. We held that as a support like clockwork, and we actually rallied right off of that, and we're breaking out. In fact, we're above all of the moving averages here on the Nasdaq 100 on this hourly chart, which leads me to believe 13,000, we're coming back. And I think if 13,000 could break, which was the resistance from 2 trading days ago, 13,000, 13,030, right around there, if that can break, we're going straight to all-time highs. I think that is very possible here on the Nasdaq 100. So what do you guys think? I'd love to know what you think about the markets. Let me know down below in the comments. Again, this is very bullish in my eyes. I think we could be going higher. And yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts, your comments. Again, leave me a comment down below in the comment section. And now let's talk about what I personally did today. And I was actually done trading pretty early in the day. I think I actually got out of this position for a profit at like before 10 a.m. here on the East Coast. So I was done really early today. And I ended up locking in on NNDM, Nano Dimension. If you guys remember, I got into this, was it on Wednesday of last week? Wednesday or Thursday of last week? I forget which day it was. But I got in at $10.36. I swing traded this thing through the weekend. And I actually ended up getting out today at 11:15. And this actually, not 11:15 like the time, but at 11:15 the price, and I actually got in or out right before this massive pop to 1160. So that goes to show, and I've told you guys this, you all know this already for the most part, you can't time the perfect exit and the perfect entry. All you can do is grab a piece of the move, whether that move is, it goes up 20%, you grab 5% of that, you grab 7% of that. The idea is not to get the whole move, but to get your piece of the pie, right? And I sure did, from 1036 all the way to 11:15. I mean, that was a pretty big move. I believe I closed the position at around a 7% profit. Let me double check that. Yeah, literally 7% profit on the dot there. And that's what I did today. I ended up locking in NNDM, and I'm not bearish by any means on this stock, and maybe I'll buy back in. But the reason I locked it in is because I heard something through the grapevine. Nobody ever went broke locking in profits, guys. So NNDM is what I ended up trading today. I got out of that, and I'm still in a bunch of other positions as well. I'm in NEO. If you guys remember, I picked up some NEO back on Friday at about $57.25. I'm actually still holding on to my NEO. I'm up almost $1 per share on this position, and this is a swing position that honestly I don't plan on selling until we get over $60+ and in fact I might even add more to it, as I only nibbled a little bit of NEO. So I'm in NEO at $57.25. I'm also still in Apple AAPL. I'm in this one at about $130, so I am down a little bit on this position, but that's okay. This is also a longer term swing trade for me that I feel comfortable adding into. And one thing worth noting here, which is why I haven't gone heavier with Apple yet, is the potential descending triangle forming. You guys can see support at 127, and we're actually downtrending into that support. So one risk here that I'm running holding on to Apple is this descending triangle playing out, and we end up gapping under 127 and maybe going lower 120s, maybe mid 120s. And in that case, I'd probably have to cut out of the position, because that would be under that 2.5% level where I typically cut my positions for the most part, if they go down 2.5% from where I ended up getting in. And on top of Apple, I'm in Amazon still, and shout out to Amazon. They're actually reporting earnings here very soon, and I have high hopes, high expectations here for these Amazon earnings. And we got some news today. Prime member total reaches 142 million in the United States, and so many people, I forget the exact statistic, but I was reading this earlier, a ton of people signed up for Prime right before the holiday season to get those perks, the awesome perks that come with being a Prime member. A lot of people signed up for that, and what that's telling me is they crushed holiday sales. The holiday sales have to be so good this year, and I'm just waiting for that, guys. And I'm probably not going to swing trade this through earnings. Again, I don't like really holding stocks through earnings, but we'll see. You never know. With a company like Amazon, this is one that I feel is one of the only ones that I would even consider holding through earnings. So that's Amazon. I'm also still in Workhorse at $22 and I am still in SLV, and these have been two of my staple swing trades. Haven't really done much with these. I'm simply just holding on to them, and I'm up on both of these positions as of now. So overall, guys, that's what I'm doing. I locked in profits on NNDM. I'm still in NEO, Apple, Amazon, Workhorse, and SLV. Those are my 5 main swings at this point in time. Now, I'd love to know what you guys are up to. Let me know down below in the comments as always. And if you're enjoying this video, hit that like button for me. And if you guys haven't subscribed yet, yup, I'm looking at you right through this camera. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that red button, subscribe to the channel, join the family. And now let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video and talk about these 10, I actually think I might even have 11 stocks here, these other stocks that I'm looking to buy right now. And the first one is Open, ticker symbol OPEN, also known as Open Door. And this one absolutely exploded today. It went up. It's currently still up. We're still trading with about 4 minutes left. This thing is up 8.07% right now. And with this gap up today, a couple of things confirmed themselves. One was that this 180 SMA held as support at a higher low. The uptrend looks like it wants to continue. And two, we broke above 2650, which was a big resistance, stemming back from back in the middle of October. So that's another good sign. And another thing worth noting here is we're still, although we are confirming the uptrend here, we're trying to break out fully. We're still in this wedge on the 4-hour. I mean, take a look here. Again, we're making higher lows, but we're also potentially at a lower high here at about $27.80 to about $28. So I think if this could fully break out, which it seems like it's trying to right now, I think Open Door could get from $28, where it is literally right now, maybe up to about $30. I think that could be the move coming, which could be about a 5 to 6% move. And this is going to be another big test at $30. If $30 could break, I think Open Door could be off to the races, maybe back up to $32, maybe $33, which from where it is right now to $32, $33, that could be anywhere from 15 to 16% upside from where we are right now. So Open Door is looking very good. Momentum is starting to kick in on the upside, and I really think there is more upside left in the tank when it comes to this one. And another one, we actually talked about this a couple of videos ago. I forget exactly what video it was, but we called this inverse head and shoulder out on XPEV, ticker symbol XPEV. We called this out, left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder right here, and we talked about how if this could break out of $50, $51, it could be off to the races for this particular stock, back up to those highs from back in the middle of January. I mean, we're still in the middle of January, but this was back in the 11th, 12th, on the 11th, 12th of January at about $55. We talked about how if 51 breaks, 55 could be the next target, and what do you know? We pretty much got there today. I mean, the stock is up 12% today, and I think if it breaks $55, there's going to be even more upside. I mean, take a look. This stock was once $78, and you could argue it got a little bit ahead of itself there, and I could argue that with you guys. I would agree with you, and since then, it's pulled down, and now we're trying to make a way back up, a move back upwards. And who's to say if 55 breaks, who's to say it doesn't go to 60? I mean, I think it could easily go to 60. So that's what I'm watching here with XPEV. And by the way, if you guys didn't know, this is a Chinese electric vehicle player. So keep that in mind. If you guys are scared of investing and trading into Chinese-oriented companies, this is a Chinese company. So always keep that in the back of your head. And we had some earnings. And by the way, earnings season is upon us. We have a bunch of companies. We have Netflix here reporting at the bell. If we're able to catch those earnings, which should be coming out here soon, if we're able to film it towards the end of the video, we'll see when it comes to Netflix's earnings. So we had some banking earnings today. One of them was Goldman Sachs, ticker symbol GS. This stock went down about $7 today, down almost 2.3%, and they reported EPS of $12.08 versus, get this guys, the $7.47 estimated. So they almost doubled up the expectation there for EPS, and revenue came in also at a nice beat, $11.74 billion in revenue versus $9.99 billion in revenue estimated. So a nice beat on EPS, a nice beat on revenue, and the stock is down a bit. And we're not going to dive very deep into the bank earnings and honestly in any of these earnings reports, because these videos, if I were to do that, they'd be easily an hour plus long, and that's not the point of these videos. The point is for you guys to dive deeper into these companies and look at their earnings for yourselves. But yeah, Goldman Sachs, double beat there. The stock is down $7, and maybe we could get a play off of this 50 SMA on this 4-hour chart. I mean, at this point, we're down about $15 from that high from earlier today, pre-market at 310. So that's a pretty decent margin that opened up of about 5-6%. So watch out for the dip here in Goldman Sachs. And another bank that dipped is Bank of America. This stock went down about 0.75% today, and they didn't do as well when it comes to EPS and revenue. They had EPS of 60 cents, actually 59 cents. We have to be exact, guys. 59 cents EPS versus 55 cents. So that's a beat, but it's not as big of a beat as Goldman Sachs. And their revenue came in at $20.1 billion versus $20.68 billion, which is actually a slight miss. So they beat EPS, they came a little bit short on revenue, and the stock, again, ended up going down about a quarter today, down 0.75%. And this one, same as Goldman Sachs, is right around that 50 SMA here on the 4-hour chart, and we're down about $2 from the peak, which is about 4 or 5% lower from that peak where we are currently trading now. So this could be potentially another dip if we're able to hold, let's say, $32.50, $33, this 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart. I think that could be an interesting bounce back play on Bank of America, and same thing with Goldman Sachs. And IBM, guys, is another one. I said international, like I got this New York accent. International. And by the way, guys, I actually did grow up in New York for 10 years, and that's when I moved to Jersey. My family moved to Jersey. But anyway, guys, IBM International Business Machines, they also report earnings this week on the 21st, actually, which is in 2 days from now. And we've been looking at this one, and I think it's actually a breakout candidate if we're able to break out of 130. I mean, take a look. 130 has been a big resistance on IBM for months. I mean, ever since back in July, back in August. You guys can see 130 got rejected multiple times. And last time, I mean, the past couple of times we've broken above 130, we've gotten from 130 to 140 to 135 a couple times. So that is the potential I see here on IBM. And you could also see, I mean, the inverse head and shoulder here, clear as day. And the completion of the right shoulder would be putting IBM anywhere from 135 to 140. So that is really, really worth watching in my personal opinion. And you guys can see, I mean, we're uptrending into that resistance. It's kind of like an ascending triangle as well. So we are, I'm not going to say 100% we're going to break out, but I'm leaning towards us breaking out. Let's just put it that way here on IBM. But be careful, and with all of these earnings plays, guys, earnings in general, be careful. You can get bit very badly if you're gambling on earnings. Always keep that in mind. But I'm watching IBM. Also, Facebook ended up going up today, over 3.8%, almost 4% on the day. And this is after BMO Capital upgraded the stock from market perform to outperform, and they actually raised the price target on Facebook from $270 to $325 per share, which is great. And on top of that, KeyBank maintained its overweight rating on the stock, and they also raised their price target. This one's a bit higher than BMO Capital. They raised their price target from $340 to $345. So not much. They didn't raise the price target much, but overall, this is what sent Facebook up today, and I'm not buying it quite yet, guys. And I told you all in a previous video that I actually sold out of my Facebook position, my long-term Facebook position in my M1 Finance account, because in that account, I'm actually pretty overexposed, I guess you can say, to big tech. I own Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and I owned Facebook, so I figured one of them had to go, and I just took my profits on Facebook and I actually invested those gains and the whole amount of that investment into ExxonMobil and into Raytheon. And you guys might think I'm stupid for doing that, but in my eyes, I'm just taking money out of big tech and diversifying it elsewhere, which I think is smart. And looking at the technicals here on Facebook, I mean, we did break this wedge on the bottom side, which is not that great of a sign on this 4-hour chart. But if we pull back a bit on the hourly chart, it's still not looking pretty. I mean, you still can see we broke the support of the wedge, but we're actually maintaining the 180 SMA on this yearly chart as a support, which has held multiple times in the past. So could this be the bottom on Facebook? It very well could be, guys. It very well could be. This stock, I mean, well, oh wow, I didn't even realize this. A couple days ago when it was $245, $250 a share, that was over a 20% drop right around there from its all-time high at 304, meaning Facebook was in a bear market. So that's interesting, guys. That is pretty interesting. And now we're breaking out of that bear market. So we'll see. Could this be the start of the rally in Facebook? I think that's possible. Oh, baby, you. So the next stock here is Upwork, ticker symbol UPWK, and this one was at $44 a couple days ago. I don't want to say it fully collapsed, but it kind of did collapse. It collapsed down to about $36. That was a drop of about 17% in a couple of days. And ever since that drop, I mean, gosh, guys, today we were at $36. Shout out to anybody that caught that at about $36, $37. That dropped today, and the fact that we bounced above from where that point where we dropped, we bounced from there, right? That is a very good sign that the uptrend's continuing. I mean, take a look here. We held that 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart, and now we're actually gunning for those highs from back in the end of December, right around $41, $41.50, $42. And I think if that could break, this thing is going straight to $44, maybe even higher, which could give Upwork from $41, $42 to $45, right around a 6 to 7% upside. So Upwork is looking good on this dip. I like it. FCell, FCEL is another one. And by the way, Fuel Cell Energy, guys, they're reporting earnings on the 21st, I believe. Yeah, let me double check. Yeah, 21st, they're reporting earnings. And if you guys don't know what Fuel Cell Energy even is, they actually design, manufacture, they sell, install, operate, and they service stationary fuel cell power plants for distributed power generation. And this stock has been on an absolute tear from $2 to $20. That was a quick little 10x. And at this point in time, guys, it's funny. In this market we're living in, I feel like people are desensitized to these returns, these 10x returns, 5x returns in a couple of months. Let me tell you guys, this is not normal. This is not normal, but hey, we're going to play it while it lasts. And at this point in time, Fuel Cell is down a good chunk from its peak. It's down about 15-16%. Today we went up 15%, but even with today's pop, we're still down a good amount, and I think the uptrend here is obviously continuing, and we could see even more momentum pushing us up to that $19-20 plus level, which is where I'm looking at here for FCell. So let's take a look at Netflix now, ticker symbol NFLX. Let's take a look and get a live reaction. Oh my goodness, there we go. That's the live reaction you guys wanted. Take a look at what this stock is doing here after hours. That is a sign of good earnings, and I didn't even look at the earnings yet. Take a look. This went from $497, $500 at the close of the market, and now it's trading at $550. Oh my goodness. Let's take a look at what they reported now on the live news tab. We'll see. So they did EPS, of $2.97 versus $2.10. So they beat their EPS by a very wide margin, and sales came in at $7.12 billion versus $7.02 billion estimated. So wow, nice earnings there. And this is what we have to look at. I'm not sure if we have how many subscribers they added. There we go. Net subscriber additions for Q4 came in at 8.5 million. Wow, so that's got to be it, versus expectations of 6 million. So a lot of new subscribers got added. They crushed expectations, and this is probably another catalyst pushing up the stock. Q4 global streaming paid memberships came in at 203.66 million. That's paid memberships there, up 22% year over year. So from a very brief glance, that's a strong earnings report, and we'll see after the earnings call and tomorrow morning pre-market how the stock is reacting. But as of now, gosh, Netflix is crushing it, and shout out to anybody out there that owns Netflix. And looking at these technicals, the head and shoulder that we were talking about, it didn't really complete, and now that we're breaking out, I mean, we're fully out of that head and shoulder, so we don't even have to worry about it anymore, and we're right at 540 or above that 540 level of resistance. So this could be a spot maybe where we consolidate. It's kind of too early to tell. A lot of the time with these earnings, guys, when the stock goes up a ton, it could sell off a bit. It could go back up again. You know, it's a lot of volatility after market hours. So it's kind of too early to tell. We'll see what ends up happening tomorrow, but watch out for 540, maybe 530. That could be where it cools off, or maybe it just doesn't cool off. Maybe it goes right up to 600. Who knows? So that is Netflix. Two more that we're looking at here. SRAC, Momentous. This one went crazy, up 26% today. Oh my goodness, guys. This is unbelievable. Up over $5 per share. And this, along with other space-related stocks, have been crushing it ever since we saw Cathie Wood come out, and they're making a new ARK Invest ETF that deals with space. I think it's what? ARKX, ARKX maybe is the ticker, if I remember correctly. And at this point in time, I wouldn't necessarily chase it here, but any pull down that we get, I'm seriously going to consider it. So I'm watching this. If we get down to maybe 21, 22, that could be a dip buy on SRAC. And same thing here with Lemonade. We talked about this yesterday, and it actually went down even more today, which is great. I mean, I want it to go down lower so I could pick up some shares. But we're looking at Lemonade here as a potential dip buy. I think anywhere from 120, 125, 130, that general area is gravy. I think that's a great spot to potentially get into Lemonade. And heck, even where it is here at 138, 140, that could also be a level to watch. So all of these stocks are linked down below. Well, not linked, but I'll list them down below in the description box if you guys do want to jot these down for tomorrow. And that's it. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Hit the like button. I would really appreciate that. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the market, stocks you're buying, what you're doing right now. I'd love to know. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. You see that red button under the video? Make sure to hit that button. Make sure to hit that button. And don't forget to join the Strive Smart Discord chat and the Facebook group. Grab yourself 4 stocks from WeBull. Those are free, valued up to $1,600. When you sign up, open an account, and when you deposit money, that is when you get all 4 of those stocks. And you could also get $30 from M1 Finance. That is also linked down below. All you have to do is deposit any amount of money, open up an account, and that's when you get the $30. And all of those, again, are free of charge. Link down below, and I hope you guys enjoy those. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, keep crushing the market. Stay safe out there, guys. Peace out.